Hey, welcome to Your Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Please continue to like, subscribe, follow me on YouTube and Rumble under the same name. The Conservative Voice is on borrowed time under YouTube. Trust me, they are removing a lot of people. Today I want to talk to you about your continuing education for your survival and your survival needs. The New World Order, the woke mob, has already primed us to be compliant and go along with the crowd when it comes to the plague, the vaccine, and who can work, who cannot work, and all that kind of nonsense. So it's not going away. They've already primed the pump. They're going to keep it up, and they've already announced new guidelines that the social media, Facebook, YouTube, Google, all your social medias are going to follow the New World Order, the World Health Organization guidelines when it comes to discussing medical issues. So, it's going to be skewed information. You're going to need books to know the truth before they start taking them off the web, before they start moving them out of the bookstores and everything else. Your priority should be medicine, because it's going to come to the point where you're not going to be able to go anywhere unless you have a vaccine passport. We've already seen that in Europe, in Australia, and other places. It's going to happen here. The Constitution be damned. It's just a suggestion to these liberal nut jobs, and they're going to go right around it. So you may have to be your own doctor. One of the most important things in a book library that you should have, first and foremost, King James Bible. The Lord will prep you and prepare you for what is coming, what you need to survive in this world, and what you especially need to survive in the hereafter. Get a good King James Bible, not revised or anything else. King James Bible, dig into it, learn about what's coming. I believe we are entering, if not already entered, into the time of sorrows that the Christ Jesus talks about in Matthew. Warns us, tells us how awful it's going to be. You're going to need to know what to do. All right? Second on my list is medicine. You're going to have to know how to do first aid, because unless you have a certain passport, you may not be allowed to get into a hospital or see a doctor or anything else. So you're going to have to educate yourself. And that doesn't mean you become your own doctor in the sense of performing surgeries, but you're going to have to know what somebody's talking about, especially broken bones or stitching up or the medicines that may become in short supply, and you're going to have to know what the deal, what that person is taking or needs to take. I saw the nurse use this yesterday when I took the missus to her doctor's appointment, because the nurse had to look up some of the prescriptions the missus is on so she could understand and not have a conflict of medicines and what to take and what not to take. Get yourself a book similar to this, okay? Now this book is expensive, but check yard sales, garage sales, flea markets, any place else, or even go to the library and rent a book, borrow a book, sign out a book, whatever it is. Get yourself a book on drugs, drug medicines, and it tells you what they are, what they do, what are the signs and symptoms that person may be displaying if they cannot talk to you coherently or at all. And you need to say, hey, what were they taking? Oh, blood thinner. What kind of blood thinner? And then you can look this up and say, this is blood thinner, because they had a heart condition, blood clots. Whatever it is, you need to know how to look it up, or have this book on hand for somebody that does know how to use the medical information. Help yourself out. Another one right here. This shows you in pictures and descriptions such as heart attack, high blood pressure, how to treat it, broken bones, everything else, very basic, but plain English. And it helps you be a better person to help save yourself, a family member, relative, or anyone in your community. And I have a whole ton of these books downstairs. Red Cross, first aid, advanced biology, all this kind of stuff, you will have to know to possibly save your own life or that of your loved ones. You don't have to be a medical doctor, but you should familiarize yourself. What's a blood vessel? What's an artery? What's a blood clot? You know, that kind of basic stuff. How do I stitch up a wound? How do I prevent infection? You will have to know how to do that when the time comes, especially if you are going to be non-compliant. You think about that. Next thing on my list, food. Lots of food. You're not going anywhere without it. You're not going to survive long without it. You're going to have to know how to grow it and preserve it. Here you go. Now these are on Amazon. You can see that. It's $25. How to store seeds, which is important because if you just eat all the food and have no replacement for it, you're not going to last long. So you're going to have to know when to harvest the seeds, how to preserve the seeds, when to plant, and when to harvest. You're going to have to have seeds. So this is a pretty good read right here. It's on Amazon. Next thing, for those people saying I'm bugging out into the woods and I don't give a damn, I'm getting as far away from people as possible, I'm going to live in the back country. Well, you better know how to forage. You better know what you can eat and what you can't eat. Because there's a lot of poisonous plants out there that'll kill you deader than dead. All right? So know how to do this. Survive and thrive in the outdoors. Okay? And it's from the Department of Army, of all places. Next thing, you say you started your kitchen garden. Here you go. When to plant, when to harvest, what grows, what doesn't grow, how fast or how slow it grows, what does it look like, when to harvest it, how to cook it. You're going to need to know how to do all this. And this one here I like because it gives you a schematic on setting up your garden, how much space it needs. A lot of people just say, well, I'm just going to plant this here and I'm just going to plant it there. And either they have huge zucchini bushes shading out everything else, or else they have little plants like bush green beans that could have been planted elsewhere and use that whole row for something else. Get yourself a how-to grow guide. When to harvest, what it looks like, what it tastes like, and it also has pictures in there. And again, this is kind of expensive, $25. I got it at the bookstore. Get it while you can. Next thing. So you're living off grid, you're non-compliant, you're sick. What are you going to do? Natural medicines. There's plenty of it out there. Know how to use it. Know how to make a tincture. I've made tinctures. I use tinctures. And I have salves and everything else. And you'd be surprised how many people have no clue what some of these plants do. I use comfrey. I just got stung by a hornet yesterday. Hurt like the devil. I put some of that Dr. Christopher's comfrey ointment on there. Bam. Stops hurting and the swelling has gone down immediately overnight. It's still swollen, but it works. Natural remedies. Stomach aches, headaches, salves, ointments, tinctures. Learn how to do it. It's not that difficult, but it does take time and practice. Learn what your plants are in your neighborhood. Willow. There's your aspirin right there in the bark. Jewelweed for poison ivy. All right? How to treat gout. A lot of people have that. So learn how to do that. So now you're saying, okay, I'm learning how to be a doctor. I'm learning how to be a farmer. I'm learning how to, raise chickens, goats, sheep, and everything else. I got my food supply going on. However, I need to know how to defend myself and what tactics I should use or will be used against me. And what do I need to do to participate in the next coming civil revolution that I believe will happen? You better know what to do. Here's another good book. There are many similar ones like this, Max Velocity. And in this book particularly, he talks about hand grenades, rifles, handguns, booby traps, how to get in and out of a car if you're in a firefight. People don't know that. How to survive the contact, how to set up ambushes, how to survive ambushes, everything you need to know. And this is just one of it. All right? I'm not advocating violence, but by golly, I'll tell you what. BLM and Antifa have no problem using violence against peaceful people that just want to express their point of view and not get, the hell beat out of them for being on the street, much less lose their lives. All right? And for those people that have friends, made tribes, or whatever you want to call it, your own group, whatever it is, in the end, it comes down to what you can do for me and what I can do for you. How valuable are you? Do you know medicine? You read the books, so that's a plus. Do you know how to grow food? You read the books. You practiced it. You've done it. That makes you valuable. Do you know how to do whatever, carpentry, mechanic work, whatever it is? It's going to come down to how valuable you are. Not just, I can shoot, I can hit a target or anything else. There's plenty of those. You're going to have to make yourself valuable. I will credit Viking Preparedness with this reference. Forging the Hero by Mosby. It's a good read, and it does say who does more is worth more. It's a good read. It's an eye-opener. It makes you consider what you know, how much you know, how good you are at it. Can you put it into practice to help you survive and grow? And that's by John Mosby. Forging the Hero, who does more is worth more. It's kind of pricey from Amazon, but you can figure it out. And I'll give credit to PJ on that one. But I wanted to let you know what I'm reading, what's in my library, and how to educate yourself. It's critical. Do it now before they take it off the net. Number one, get it, read it, learn it, save yourself, because you're doing it for yourself by changing your life, repenting of your sins, getting yourself baptized, submerged in water in the name of Jesus Christ. That'll get you wherever you need to go. Thanks for liking and subscribing. If you have any suggestions, you let me know. Greg out.